Okay, so hi, my name is Jean-Max Moris. I am one of the co-founders at Dontnod Entertainment, and today we're in San Francisco presenting Life is Strange for the first time with a hands-on demo, and well, we're very happy to be here. Obviously, what you see now in the background is Arcade Bay, Oregon, which is where the game is set. Life is Strange is a modern adventure game where every choice has a consequence, and we put a lot of emphasis on our story, characters, and, well, player choice and consequence. So this game is a story of Max Caulfield, who is coming back to Arcade Bay to study photography after 5 years spent in Seattle with her family that relocated there. And this is the story of her growing up into becoming an adult. She has this very special power to rewind time, and we're going to use that power to basically question all your choices, make you experience some cool puzzles, and bring Max and her friends into adulthood.
So is Arcadia based on an actual real city in Oregon?
No, it isn't, but we did a lot of research online. We went on a field trip to Oregon as well. We took hundreds of photographs. We did a lot of research on Facebook as well, seeing what people liked and what they wore. Make sure everything felt authentic, and of course our main writer is also an American guy who was there to let us know if anything didn't feel authentic.
For what it's worth, I mean, I recently visited Astoria, Oregon,
Okay.
and I almost see a little bit of an influence, but maybe it's just Oregon towns in general.
Yeah, I mean, I've never been to Astoria. I've been to really small towns like Nehalem or Cannon Beach over there, and I think you'll see a lot of that in the game. So yeah. So this is the very beginning of the game, and this is a vision that Max is having. You'll see why in a moment. Why I say it. Why I said it's a vision.
There's a lot going on. Very dark, dramatic stuff. I could only hope that we probably end up going to scenes like this again later in the 5 episodes.
Yes, I mean a lot of the supernatural stuff like this that you see happen in the game is there to echo the personal conflict, the inner conflict of the characters. There's also a pretty dark mystery investigation to solve in the game, where you're basically going to be investigating on the disappearance of one of your fellow students, Rachel Amber, who is also one of the main characters' close friends. So yeah, there is dark stuff. There is also much lighter stuff. It's really a blend of things. And wake up.
That was so surreal.
Little pieces of time. But he could be talking.
Yeah, there's a lot of cultural name drops in this scene.
This is the academy that Max is studying at. She's a total photography geek. Some would say she's a total hipster as well. But she
I didn't fall asleep.
she came back to Arcade Bay to study in this very famous academy, and this is Professor Jefferson. He's a well-known photographer. So this is the photography class, and yes, everyone is doing some name dropping there, trying to impress each other and the teacher.
Keep that to yourself.
So this is the part where you can use me as sort of your test play guinea pig. I knew nothing going into this game, how it played and whatnot, so I just played it safe, and because I'm in the classroom, I didn't want to get caught looking at anything until he was finished. He finished lecturing. so that's why I'm just hovering the camera around.
Yeah, well, you know, you play the game the way you want to play it. This is a very important scene. This is where, I mean, narratively speaking, this is where you start wondering what's happening. Why did you wake up in the middle of that vision? And it's the scene where you start learning about all the mechanics of the game. So it's also a scene where you get to see some of the main characters that you will see again many times during I mean, throughout the episodes. And we just take it from there.
Is there any significance to her name being, to her sharing the same name of a B-list American movie actor?
No, she actually shares the same name as the main character in Catcher in the Rye, which was also a very you know, it's a coming of age story that we are telling, and
but that's Holden Caulfield.
Yeah, what you meant Max?
Yeah. Well, there's an actor. He was in Grease 2. He was really popular in the early '80s. He goes by the name of Maxwell Caulfield.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah.
She's Maxine.
Starring in Grease 2 didn't help his career.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. Well, you know.
So it's more of a direct nod to Holden Caulfield.
It is. Yes, it is. It is.
This does not bode well.
And yeah, we chose the high school years because that's where you make the most life-defining choices in your life, and we wanted to use the rewind mechanic that carried over from Remember Me to question the nature of choice in video games, and that's why we chose those years. There are also years that people tend to be the most nostalgic over. You can also feel that nostalgia in everything, in terms of art direction and sound, audio direction. In the game.
There's a certain slickness to Remember Me, especially with the futuristic setting, but once you start looking at the close-ups of some of the characters' hair, you can tell you guys were going for sort of a hand-painted look. I don't know if you can go into more detail as how you decided on that art direction.
Sure. I mean, the idea again was to tackle themes that are universal in that everyone can relate to them. And in this case, it's about being a teenager and going through the choices and the life tribulations that will make you an adult. And basically, we wanted people to identify with the characters as much as possible. And there's simple paradigm whereby the more detailed the character is, the less people can identify with it. So it's like the difference between a photograph or view that only you can identify with and a smiley face that the entire world can basically identify with. So what I mean is that by moving away from the slickness and realism from a game like Remember Me, or any other AAA for that matter, what we wanted to do is enable the player to inject more of his own emotions and personality, reality into the characters. So that's why we went for those large brushstrokes and that more impressionistic feel.
You guys didn't hold back on making this game feel extremely current. Mm-hmm. Drones. You guys aren't holding back on using the term selfie. I can't help but guess that one of the contrasts is that helps accentuate, I guess, Max's fondness for the retroness of her camera.
Yes, exactly. I mean, we put a lot of work into making it feel authentic. It takes place in 2013. And yes, Max is kind of trapped into more old school way of doing things. She likes old school auteur movies. She likes her own kind of paintings, and she hasn't made the transition to the digital Instagram age that all these other guys in the room have.
Tell us the name of the
Now,
process you
the
the first self.
the Telltale influence is, is pretty strong here, but would you be able to
I did know.
um, disclose whether or not you guys were like already developing this before the success of The Walking Dead by Telltale, or was it like a direct sort of
No,
influence?
it was a direct influence, and it had. I'm pretty sure The Walking Dead came out. To be honest, I can't remember. But yes, it did, because otherwise we wouldn't have had it as an influence. I guess that's time paradox right there. It's and they are an influence, and we love what they did. And what they did is basically define the modern adventure game that focuses on story, characters, choice. But we're adding also our own different take on that with the fact that you can rewind time at any moment um, and basically test all different choice outcomes before you make a decision. Although at this stage, I mean, you're just about to go into the scene that makes you have the rewind for the first time. You don't have it yet, so it might sound like you can cheat the game and you can basically take back all your choices, but it's not the case, because you are going to be surprised by the different midterm and long-term consequences to your choices that we throw at you. So you might rewind the same choice and its short-term consequences many times, but there will be unexpected consequences further down the line. And we're also taking the kind of same approach to storytelling, in that as the Telltale games, whereby the story will move in the general same direction for everyone, but it's your choices that will determine how your story gets told and how your experience feels different from that of other people. I had never looked at that picture, by the way. For instance, the one that you just looked at.
You've never seen that?
I've seen 99% of what's in the game, but some of it I haven't seen. So yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, I guess I ignored, not knowing the repercussions of any action. I was super careful. I mean, you saw me. I actually ignored Victoria's tablet, because there might have been this sequence where she'd catch me snooping, so it wouldn't seem to fit her character. I mean, Max's character. How would you say the long-term decision making going across the 5 episodes, how would you say it differs from The Walking Dead?
So, I mean, we have the general same philosophy as they do, which is, again, that the story moves in the same direction for everyone, but what we're trying to emphasize is the fact that every time we tell you your action will have a consequence, it will have a consequence. And we're also putting a lot of emphasis on different situations happening for different reasons. What I mean by that is that the same story beats will happen regardless of how you play the game, the main story beats, but it might feel that it's happening for very different reasons. Other than that, the game won't branch in 100 different directions. We have several endings, but not that many of them. I'm a strong believer in making experiences feel unique. Not all of that can be, with details, a different line of dialogue, a different shot, different object in a cutscene, different look from a character, different incidental dialogue, different animation, different text message that you get. So, if you think about it with having a few dozens things that we flag in each episode, well, after you're done, playing the first episode, that's already quite a few things that we can basically call back into play in terms of giving you content that is really tailored to the way you played it. And when it comes to the second, third, fourth episode, then you get stuff that 99% of the people have not seen, even though sometimes it's just as much a detail as a text message, and that feels unique, and that's what I think is great about video games today.
So I think we're about to exit.
We are.
Then she puts her headphones on. How did you guys settle on the music?
The music is very much in tune with the art intentions, which is to evoke a sense of nostalgia, and that's why we went for an indie folk mix of licensed tracks and bespoke music. So some of the licensed tracks I still can't really talk for now about, but the music, the bespoke music for the game, has been composed by a guy called Jonathan Morali, who is the lead singer of a band called Sid Manners, and it is going to be mostly indie folk. And the peculiar thing, I mean, the difference in this game compared to many other games is that there is very little, if none, in-game generic music urging you to move forward, that kind of stuff. We have very silent moments in the game, and every time a tune comes in, it's a realistic indie folk tune, and it sounds like it's Max singing it to herself or listening to it really in her head with the headphones, for instance, like in the sequence. And she, for instance, can put a song in her room, but then move to the complete other side of the building, and that song will still be playing, because it really feels at all times like you are in her head.
Well, it's an effective opening titles, so much so that I didn't want to risk interrupting the song by looking at items or talking to people. At the same time, the song did end once I went into the restroom.